Hello. Hey guys, I thought I'd try it live here, see if anyone jumps on could answer your questions. But wanted to go over like a couple hodgepodge of things. Thought it might be a good spot to just kind of review some updates on macro stuff, and then not like a formal video setting, and some updates on some projects that I've covered. So for updates, we pretty much just have OpenGPU at this point. So OpenGPU is that GPU project, but it seems like they're trying to do a lot more than just a GPU project. They're layer one. They've got some aspirations to do some additional stuff. So they launched a DevNet DEX, which is pretty cool. They did a little competition where I think it's still ongoing, where the highest holder of this fake meme coin will get some sort of reward just to test their test their system, right? Test their DevNet. So it's cool. It's pretty interesting how fast they launched that thing, and they're working on some additional products they're going to launch shortly, and staying tuned for that. The ORC token, they're coming up with a new ORC token standard, so that's going to be cool. Apparently, they haven't released a lot of information about it, but what the dev or what the founder wants to do is reduce the amount of scam coins that are out there, like on Solana. It's a pretty big problem, right? All these scam meme coins with honeypots and stuff like that. And his goal is to create some sort of new standard that prevents that. So I'll be looking for how he's planning on doing that. He's going to release the white paper, I think this week is the plan. They're working on writing that up. And then an update on doxing for these guys. So that's the biggest pain point in this project. And it sounds like they're thinking about possibly doing a know your customer with a trusted agency. And from how I understand it works is they'll do a KYC, which is basically what you do when you're on board with like a trading brokerage. And they'll do it with some sort of agency that'll keep their identities hidden, but say like these guys are who they say they are, and we've tied them to this project. So we'll see what comes of that. And then on the marketing front, I've been marketing with banners and website ads, done some grassroots marketing, but the KOL, the influencer marketing, won't begin until they do a mainnet launch. That should be in September. So this project is developing, and they are very, very active. I do like the execution so far. So getting more bullish on this project personally, and excited to see what they can do. Now on the macro trends, the economy, right? It's currently in a yield curve inversion, and this is not news. We know this. So this length of the yield curve inversion has always predicted a recession, and it's been this deep and this long. So I am anticipating a recession, but you can't absolutely rule out other scenarios. So we'll keep an eye on the economic indicators, and depending on what they do, we'll make decisions to exit based on that. If they start to erode, it looks like the market's toppy, then I'll make the decision to exit my positions. But that's the best we could do, right? Is keep. I think that's the only thing that could cut the bull cycle short from 2025. If those economic indicators erode before then, then it's showing that maybe it's a little more risky to be in risk assets than it is to get out. And you can also like do a tiered exit too, right? Like we could I could take some profits, right, and then let the rest ride and kind of watch it. So that's a good strategy to take on the an exit points as well, and that's the one I've kind of done in the past too. I kind of prefer that, but yeah. Anyway, um, one of the important things that I wanted to mention at some point was, and I'll probably cover this again. If you look at, this is probably not news to a ton of you, but like if you look at how the markets kind of top in the past, Bitcoin tops before altcoins. I think a couple weeks. We can look at the charts and look more in depth at what the average is later, but later date. But then also Bitcoin tops before stocks usually too. So just keep that in mind. Because crypto is going to be topping first. We're going to have to be on our toes. We can't use the stock market as a trigger point, right? The stock market looks toppy. We can't use that as a trigger point to get out. So we'll have to stay on our toes. But this week, as far as economic indicators go, it's going to be a big week, big day on Wednesday. The CPI data comes out. So inflation data comes out. It's one of the two inflation data points. That and core. The PCE is the other one. Sorry. But it's projected to be 0.4% month over month. April's was 0.4, which actually beat expectations by 0.3. And if you remember, like the market was like kind of okay with it. Like it didn't get too bearish about it, but it obviously wasn't a catalyst. So I think what we're going to see, we're going to watch closely, and I think what we're going to see is like if it's above forecast. I got that opposite. Sorry, below forecast. CP comes below forecast. We'll see the market rally. I think that'll be actually quite a big catalyst for markets and risk assets. That would be good news. Like because it basically tells people that the Fed, is probably gonna cut at some point. I know Fed said that they need multiple data points to start cutting rates, but they seem really hungry to cut rates. So I think even with two reports, they might two softer reports, depending on how soft they are, they might actually cut rates. But it's always possible that that we come in above 0.4. I think if we come in at 0.4, the market will see it as also bullish, but I don't think it'll be as big of a rally as if it comes in 0.3, or if it comes in even lower than that, the market would be really, really excited. And from the last CPI report, the big factors that were kind of driving inflation was energy and housing. And housing's kind of a little delayed in its in like how it contributes to inflation reports. I think it's more for PCE, but also still on the CPI as well. So those are two we'll be watching at. And let's get more in specific here. So last CPI report, gasoline came in at 1.7, which is that's big. That was a big increase. So 0, right? There's no inflation. Negative is disinflationary, and above 1 is inflationary. So that's a big number, and that really contributed to the last CPI report, right? Like gasoline, oil is used for transporting products, manufacturing. Electricity is used for manufacturing. So those things have a huge impact on the CPI report, obviously. And then apparel came in at 0.7. That was also a hot one. Transportation came in at 1.5. Through insurance, increases in insurance and airfares. We've seen insurance rising over the last, I think year and a half, 2 years, as they're trying to catch up as people's policies renew. So that wasn't good. And we hope it doesn't happen this time, but like I said, we'll see. So this report, obviously, we're going to be looking at those big factors from last report: energy, gasoline. So let's look at. I pulled a chart from gasoline here, and you can see like in March to April, it like was really spiking. Actually, from the beginning of the year up until March, gasoline prices increased significantly, right? And that's what drove that CPI report. And then looks like they've kind of topped here. So I don't know if this This is kind of mid early April is where they looks like they topped. And they've been declining. So I don't know how much of that'll play into this CPI report, but at least it looks like we should be kind of neutral on inflation on gasoline. So that's good news. That is really good news. And electricity though is up month over month. I pulled. You can go to this website and look at electricity rates. They don't really have a chart, but they have like electricity rates month over month per state. And a lot of months or a lot of states look like prices have gone up, which is not good. And then airfare. I didn't find a source of recent information on airfares, but we do see airfares go up in the summer, so I don't expect to get much relief on airfares. So if we do get relief, hopefully it's in gasoline, just based on the data we have of average gas prices. Electricity doesn't look too promising. And one of the other things is natural gas was up 12% month over month, almost 13%. And natural gas is used to generate, a good bit of electricity. I think I don't want to say it's around 10% or something. And it changes too because natural gas is used in a lot of peaker plants. So kind of when you need a little bit of excess supply. So in the summer they'll run more than they will in lower load times. So we hope that doesn't impact electricity too much either. But that's the macro stuff. Let me see if I got anyone asking any questions or anyone on here. Got one person. What's up? 2 people. How's it going, guys? Thanks for joining. We're going to go through some research tips now just for fun. So I've done a lot of DEXs on the channel, and I've started to really look at DePINs over the last month. And I just wanted to kind of talk about how like these different projects, you got to look at them. It's kind of nice and kind of a pain, right? But we can look at them differently. We've got they're just different business models. That's what I find like so interesting about kind of segmenting these things out. And part of the reason why a lot of these projects that I cover are so similar is because like you look at one DEX, then it's very like, okay, now let's look at another DEX and compare it and see like which DEX I like and which DEX I want to get into. So when it comes to DEXs, it's all about trading volumes, right? Like demand. DEXs are built on demand. So trading volumes and because the DEXs earn fees on them. And that's like the backside of DEXs are the chains that they serve, right? I mean, that's why Uniswap is worth more than almost any other DEX because it's used more, and they earn a fee off of every time that that DEX is used. Now, like if you're a holder of Uniswap, it's not getting like a dividend. You kind of have to look at crypto more like a early stage tech stock, right? I think that was tough for me to kind of understand when I was younger. I was like, well, if it's not like producing some sort of profit, like why would you even invest in it? But now that these companies have matured, it makes more sense. Like as they develop, the benefits, become more clear to the investors and shareholders. And I don't know if that happens in crypto, but like how else do we look at it, right? These projects are definitely growing. So at some point, you think investors are going to demand some sort of benefit for holding the crypto, and I think that's very similar to what happened in a lot of these tech stocks too over time. So anyway, when you're looking at DEX, the chains that are served are really important. What chains are they swapping? Like I said, Uniswap's got a bunch of chains that they operate on, and then you also have to look at like on those chains, right? We looked at PNG, for example. It's number 2 on their main chain, AVAX, that they do swaps for, right? So that kind of tells you like Trader Joe's got a little more market share. They're going to do most likely more transactions unless PNG does something that brings in more users, right? They either market harder and get more users, or they bring on some technology like increasing the speed of transactions, or reducing gas fees, or like Uniswap X is doing, like eliminating gas fees altogether. So um, that's kind of the cool part about analyzing these companies. And then you got like the aerodromes and velodromes of the world, really um, iterating on DEX technology as well. So there's it's a very basic business model, but I think there's a lot of cool things happening in the DEX space. So I think that's why those projects are kind of fun to watch, and fun this cycle. And then DPINs. So DPINs are like completely. I think they're like completely different, right? It's a very crowded space. You got a lot of large leaders in there, but the way you got to look at that business is like there's two sides. There's the demand side, supply side, and demand side, right? Supply of computing power and the demand of customers using that computing power. And obviously, the supply guys, people who give up their GPUs, CPUs, or whatever, they want to get paid the most for their computing power. And then on the demand side, those guys want to pay the least, or at least like have some sort of competitive advantage. Whatever that is, you better user interface. That's a small piece of it. The OpenGPU guys claim that you don't have to give up your source code. So for like OpenAI, for example, they're a very what do you proprietary, closed off. They're not open source like Llama and some of these other language learning models. And those guys are going to want a solution where they don't have to give up any IP or proprietary information. Like that's a benefit that technology can bring. And then you got like renders of the world. Like they're focused on video rendering. So if you need like GPUs for video rendering, they're designed to do that. That's competitive advantage for them. They're filling a niche, right? But it basically comes down to like the Ubers and the Lyft model. I think Martin Shkreli, he's like the guy that went to jail for wire fraud or whatever. He's not an upstanding guy, but like very smart businessman. You got to respect him, respect his knowledge on that. And he was talking about how Uber and Lyft were valued back in the day, and basically like a multiple on the assets that you had in your network, right? Because Uber didn't own the cars, Lyft didn't own the cars starting off, but they would say like, hey, this is an asset. It can produce like, we think it can produce like X amount of dollars a year. And then like, here's a multiple on it. Right. And that's kind of what a lot of these GPU plays are doing. It's very like easy way to, because they have assets, right, that you can rent that they don't necessarily own. I think some of these projects, what is that one? GPU Net, I believe. I think they own a lot of GPUs. Most of these companies or most of these projects don't own the GPUs, right? But so you're basically saying the same thing as the Uber model. Like you don't own these assets, but they're obviously productive. Like how much money can you make on them over a given period of time, and we can value off that. Or you can just say like, hey, basically like we're valuing. A simpler way to break it down is, hey, we're valuing each GPU at X number of dollars, and divide that by our total. Basically, take your market cap, right? Divide it by the number of GPUs on network, and that's how you get like dollars per GPU, and you can compare like between projects what the market's valuing each GPU at. Now it's crazy. I think if you watch my Nodes AI video or the OpenGPU video, I'm going to do an IO one too shortly, but basically the market's valuing GPUs at like 200 to 300 grand per GPU, and a lot of these GPUs on these networks are only maybe a couple $1,000. Like the most expensive ones are like 30,000 from the video, 40,000, and those are the industrial ones with like 80. I think they're 80 gigabyte GPUs, but way under what their actual market values. But it's tough to get your hands on a lot of these. So I think that's why the price is so freaking inflated. Anyway, I hope that helps and gives a little bit of light on like how each market segment, like each niche, you got to look at it. You're going to look at it a little bit differently because the business models are just a little different. So that's two examples right there. And I think that's all I had for today. So thank y'all for watching. What's up, CD? Thanks for joining, man. Thanks for joining. I love you guys, man. The audience has been phenomenal, and it's the reason I keep going on this, losing sleep and getting sick to bring you guys some deep research. So I read all your comments, try to help where I can, and let me know. Yeah, if you guys, is there any projects you want me to check out, put on the list? Let me know right now. Otherwise, or you got any questions that maybe I can answer? I'll stay on here for a couple more minutes. Alpha token. You want to look at it right now? Let's take a quick look. Probably not going to get you too much deep stuff on it, just because the research takes a lot of time. Let me look it up. ALEPH. Is that right? Elf zero? Is it A0? Oh no. Elf A.im. Got it. Yeah, I use CoinCap Marketplace. That was my go-to, but I found that CoinGecko's a little more accurate and up to date. And then another good one's Missouri if you want to pay for it. Missouri. Let's see if I can hold on. Let me see if I can share. I don't know if I was sharing. Is this it? Elfcoin. Missouri. It's like there, let me see. So Peter, if you're trying to buy OpenGPU, check to see that. So it has a 5% buy sell tax that goes to, right now I think it's just going to operations and dev, but it's no, it's not. It's going to the stakers of the GPUs. So the staker pool. So make sure, like I just try setting slippage a little higher, like 5 to 7%, and it goes through for me. Try that if you haven't. Let me know if that works. But yeah, it's kind of a complicated buy right now because it's so new. So what do these guys do? Keep a D app. So what is this, kind of like a art block type with less functionality? Or is it hosting? Is this hosting? Pay as you go. We've got some VCs. I don't think I recognize. No. Let's see, half a billion market cap, or sorry, half a billion token supply. That looks good. Circling. Why is circling supply so low though? They burn it. Huh? How much did they burn? Makes no sense. It said they burned the whole amount that they, like their total supply. Confused. I'd have to read their docs, like their white paper, to see. Let me see. See if we can find their white paper real quick. Documentation. All right, tokenomics. Thermal tokenomics. No? Where's your tokenomics? I don't see it. I'm really going to have to find their tokenomics to understand. And was that a? Do they have a DAO? Like, how do they burn those tokens? Do they like vote on it? A DAO proposal? It's tough to do research on the fly. Oh, that's cool. It looks like it's a hosting platform, huh? Yeah. So I mean, like, I guess my process is like I'll try to figure out what it is exactly they do. Usually go to like the white paper, and like I mentioned, like I really like the white paper being very specific. Like I love this. They say it's an open source off-chain peer-to-peer network. It offers decentralized key value storage, file storage, function execution, virtual machine provisioning. So it's like ICP, right? Very similar. Interactions with network rely on decentralized identities that are interoperable with major blockchain networks. Yeah, I like that a lot. Uh, Very specific. And then a whole bunch of technical stuff that I'm not a software engineer and don't understand. uh, yeah, I mean, this project looks like it has it's well built, very professional documentation. So I think that says always says a lot about the team. What I hate to see is when you go to a page and they got this white paper and it just has this like fairy tale like summary of what the project is without saying like anything that it does. And this one's very specific. I love that they have a goal. You know what they're trying to do, what they're trying to achieve without like having to read deep into the documentation. Because if you're after read deep in the documentation, either they haven't defined the problem properly, right? Like every business and like every project needs to have like a problem that they're solving. Otherwise, like nobody like that's the first step. Like, you could have a great problem and like execute terribly, and the business is going to fold. So if you don't even have a problem defined, like it's hopeless. Yeah, but what happens sometimes is like you get older projects and they, don't define the problem at first because they just kind of saw this opportunity to create a blockchain. Like back in the 2017, 2018, 2019, the problems were kind of like more general, but what they might have done is started executing as problems like became apparent that were adjacent to what they were originally trying to do, and they found like a really good problem to solve. So like just because they don't have it in there, anything specific doesn't mean that they're not a good um, project, but because they're so specific here, like when they created this project, they were going out to set out to like solve a problem. So from here, it's going to take too long to do on this live stream, but from here, what I would do is I'd understand the technology a little bit better, like what their goal is in the project, figure out how they compare to the competitors like ICP, Internet Computing Protocol, and Filecoin. It sounds like they do very similar things. So why would when you have competition, you got to ask the question like, why would this project do better than an established project in crypto? Right? It's going to need a technology or a benefit to overtake. A beneficial technology or a beneficial method that overtakes the existing protocols, especially when those protocols are well backed. Because when you have like a really well backed team um, that's already established business, what you have is resources. And if you see a technology that threatens your own technology, right? If you see a project that threatens your own, this goes for business too. You can start throwing money at the problem and you know try to fill the gaps, like fill the holes so that you can compete with that new technology. You basically have like a head start, right? Money and cash flow is not only cash flow, but just like money in general, financial backers, it's a hedge to people who might be able to overtake you. Now that said, not saying that these guys can't overtake ICP. It's totally possible. So I'd have to figure out what that advantage is and like just do a judgment call. Like, do I think that they have what it takes? So I think like it's plausible that this technology could overtake the competition, or at least like do something serve the market in such a way that they'll have to split market share with ICP, right? So um, yeah, no, I think it's an interesting project. Kind of want to look into it deeper. So any specific questions I can look at for you? Yeah, yeah, and they're like, and their chats. Yeah, no, no, no. I'm not saying it's whales are buying, so you foam up. Yeah, I'm not saying like it's a bad project at all. Like I don't know enough to make a decision, but initially I like what I'm seeing. So it is an older project. Yeah. Just looking at the chart, the one question I'd have is like, what happened last cycle? Looks like they had pretty good growth. And then this is weird though. Like you'd expect the chart to go down to like zero. Like this is good because you're like, oh, it's stabilized. But at the same time, you're like, why didn't price move here? Were they burning tokens or something there? That could be. And it responded nicely. This kind of bull cycle here. Looks like it responded really early, but then kind of fell flat. I wonder why it fell flat. That's where you might find out that like maybe they can't really compete with ICP. I don't know if that's the case. No idea. And one of the things I do is kind of check their, um, look through their Telegram or Discord. Usually, you can find a lot of information there if you search around. And if you can't find it, just ask somebody. If it's a good group, they'll answer questions for you. Um, like I think the cool thing about this cycle is I've noticed is that for the most part, like serious projects, their telegrams and discords have become much more investor friendly. Like they'll answer like serious questions and get deeper. So cool. CSTD, thanks for joining, man. Any other questions you got? I got 10 people on here. Wow. Thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all joining. All right, I'm gonna go make some lunch. Appreciate y'all. Have a good Sunday, and we'll see you next week. How do I end this thing? It's my first one. I have no idea what I'm doing. How do I think GFI will go? All right, we'll look at GFI real quick. I'm not that hungry. Oh man, I'm like I really like GFI, and like I just have kind of a little. This is gonna stop there. I have like this hard on for these VC backed companies, just because I know like, and then like listening to their AMAs, they're very they're very knowledgeable. Watching them positioning themselves, I really like it. So I think GFI has tons of upside. And when it comes to GFI, I find myself asking this question like, are they going to be able to pull it off this cycle? Right? Like that's my question because they're coming out with that. Basically, I think they have the robo advisor. Is that right? I believe that's them. It's not. It's not. Or is that Centrifuge? Anyway, they're very similar programs, right? Just serving different markets. No, that was Centrifuge that's done the robo advisor, but I think Goldfinch has a lot of opportunity, man. I like them. I like them a lot. I just, like I said, don't know if they're going to pull it off this cycle. I wanted to look at them. I've been meaning to look at their governance proposals because they had some, had some issues with the loans, and I think they've learned that the loans are, sourcing loans from private loans from third world countries is like very noble thing to do, but it's very risky. It's very risky because like the default rate's just so high. It is known. It's just what it is. I mean, private loan defaults are high, and then when you go to um, people with less, like economies with less GDP in them, those default rates are high as well. Like really, what you want are collateralized loans. Those are the best, but then the returns aren't as high. So it's a catch-22 for GFI because if the returns aren't as high, the yields aren't as high. How do you get people to invest in your loan product versus a like staking ETH or something or Solana for like 5%? Now, personally, me, like if I had a huge fund if I had like $1 million, I was looking to just earn some income on. Like I love loans. I think they're great, but yeah, not everyone's like me, right? Most people are like, yeah, that sounds risky. I'm just gonna throw it into the into staking. Let's see. Let's. Where's the what was it? East Lending. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. East Lending, Lend East. That's what it was. So Lend East was the. These are the guys that defaulted. I don't know where that. Where is that proposal? As yeah, I can find it. Anyway, I didn't see any updates in the Discord, so I think what happened is happening with Lend East is they're still trying to collect on it. They didn't. They heard a response initially when they basically sent them the "Hey, you better pay up your principal now" letter. Um, Initially, Lend East said they could pay like 70% of the remaining of the total. Sorry, principal off. So it looks like there will be a write down on this loan, but overall, like if you look at the performance of Goldfinch's private loans, like when you look at private loan portfolios, the best private loan portfolios are good at collecting on principal that hasn't been um, that hasn't that has been defaulted on, right? Like it's very common to have like you expect loans to default in private loans. They're riskier, and that's why they're higher percentage, right? So the best portfolio managers in private loans are guys who can collect, and Goldfinch has a good team of guys who are good at collecting on private loans. So I think the concern for that's a little high, and I do think Goldfinch is going to change its strategy to the point where they don't take on as riskier as loans and stuff like that. So anyway. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, Crypto John's great dude. His everyone's like, you're reviewing all of his picks. I'm like, yeah, like we think very similarly. So although there's definitely some things that he doesn't do that I'll do, like go DJing on a GPU play that's less than 10 million market cap. I love a little risk, but what are you gonna do? All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Any other questions? Last call. Oh, what's it? We'll look at Axelar real quick. I don't even know. I've never even heard of this. Axelar. Satellite money. Satellite money. This is like Starlink money. I'm human. I'm human. I think I get this because I use the Brave browser. But anyway. Shortest path to scale. Huh. So are they like a Polygon, like a multi-chain? Trusted by leaders. Program interoperability. So network for Web3 smart. I notice a lot of projects are. Is this like a DApp development? Cross chain stacks. Leading Web3 environment. Again, summarize for investors who aren't coders. Where's our white paper? Man, I wish. I want to say this for a while. I wish like crypto projects would start like releasing like almost financial information. Like I love it. That's why I love a DAO. You get so much information about what's going on these proposals that get voted on. I mean, it's almost like having access to all the board of director decisions for like Google or Microsoft. Like it's great. Blockchain systems. Oh, this is a white paper. White paper. Attractive users, application developers. However, communication across ecosystems is very sparse and fragmented. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this one looks like it could be a very promising project. Now, it seems like a polka dot on first glance. Yeah, business currencies. My question is gonna be so yeah, now I got like a general sense. Like my question next would be like how do developers benefit from this? And also look for devs who are using the project, right? If I can find examples of devs executing on it and are excited about it on this type of project, that makes me more interested. Looks like they support a ton of chains. Some of these I've never heard of. Oh, this is their network graph, cross chain activity. Okay. Well, it looks like they have lots of volume there established. Yeah. $4,600 volume per transaction. Yeah. I mean, it's used. It's used. People use it. What's its market cap? 670 ish. Yeah. Yeah. Is it deflationary? Why is it infinite maximum supply? So yeah, also want to understand how the tokenomics work before I would make a decision. Yeah, I mean, I would look into this one further. Yeah. Oh shoot, they got what? They got all the way up to 1.3 billion market cap on this cycle already. Dang, this one's interesting. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Now, did it come down because of inflation? Doesn't look like it. No, just looks like that's just price action. Wow. Yeah, I'm interested in this project. I'll put it on the list. Good call. Thanks, man. Do I have top 5 picks for myself? Oh, I guess. I mean, yeah. So for me, top 5. I love in no particular order. OpenGPU right now. I'm really bullish on. They keep executing. If they do that KYC, trusted advisor, that'll be huge. I think that'll be game changing for that project. It'll make a lot of investors feel more comfortable. ABT, I love Art Block, man. Do that Robert Mao. He's been putting out videos recently of demos that he does, and it's pretty cool. Like he's got AI language learning models integrated into it now, and he also has like image generators. I guess I don't know if he has video generation actually deployed yet, but if not, it should be deployed. I think that project, like, I'm actually considering if I get some time, like, I would love to build my like a blog or my website off of ABT. I think that would be awesome. I think it'd be awesome. Um, so I think that project's going to be good. And then I love gold. I love Goldfinch. I think it's kind of I think it's a risky play because I don't, they need to somehow increase the number of loans they have. But I love the team. Love the team on that. I really like Centrifuge too. I love these like big institutional financial projects. Those are 4. Let's see what else I got. Man, PNG's price action has been great. So it biases me a little bit. Their their price action lately has been phenomenal. Let's see. Let's look at the list. Yeah. Well, I can't believe I forgot Aerodrome. Aerodrome is a great project. Like their base is going to continue to grow and gain market share on layer ones, right? Like so, Aerodrome's got a ton of inflation, but their TVL keeps increasing, and it's just going to. Like I don't see anything stopping it. Of course, like anything can happen, but Aerodrome's going to be one that's really hard to stop. I don't. I don't see it. I don't see it not doing phenomenally well. Like if I had a little extra cash laying around for Aerodrome, I would throw it in uh, on the dip. So yeah, ABT, it's looking really good. So, all right, guys. Yeah, Arrow. It's kind of like betting on the Patriots when Tom Brady was there. I mean, I don't know how you feel about Tom Brady and the Patriots, but it's like, yeah, you can't really bet against them, you know? So, all right, guys. I didn't think I'd be under 45 minutes. You guys fucking rock. Oh, might get deplatformed. So it's nice knowing y'all. Have a great Sunday and have a look. Yeah, look at OpenGPU, man. Not like advice for you, but like it's a really interesting project. And I think I recommend going to their Telegram and just listening to their founder talk. They're very intelligent. The dude works for like CBDC banks, building blockchains for big banks. So he's very knowledgeable, you can tell, and I think he's got a lot of good ideas. So yeah, it's tiny. It's tiny market cap. So anyway, thanks guys. I appreciate y'all. You guys rock. Have a great Sunday. Yes, GFI's loans. GFI's loans. You watch my video on it. I go in depth on their products, and they've got they're working on new products to try to basically diversify and bring in revenue. So check it out in the playlist. Thanks, guys.